on,
Yeah.
come on. Yeah,
It's the resistance.
yeah,
Yeah. The studio, you know what I mean?
word up, word up.
It's the resistance, baby.
It's the
Dropping
resistance,
the
baby.
It's the resistance, baby.
Yeah. Hey yo, we bring it in, D. Come on.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
grab the microphone and speak some real shit.
Why?
MCs for how I do, I get this down, bitch. For mine, half of the time, it's just a freestyle. I play something to cut. Niggas be acting up.
What?
Got
Peace, what's good, y'all? It's your brother God Science up in here once again. Y'all like my intro? Yeah. Let me just tell y'all, I can't rap. Well, I can make words rhyme, but I don't consider myself an MC, you know what I mean? I just rhyme over my beats for fun. And these real MCs out here will probably eat me up, you know what I mean? That I work with. A lot of, some of these local artists, they're MCs. I'm a producer that rhymes on my beats for fun, you know what I mean? So please don't get at me. Anyway, we're going to do a review of the Cardi B new album. And the only reason I listened to this album because my daughter, which she is now 17, and I don't even want her listening to that crap. But she basically, I don't know what's that shining on this. I'm not even in the sun. What is that? I don't know. Forgive me. I don't know what's that glare. Yeah, I don't know where it's coming from. It's probably coming from this, right? Okay. I don't know. I'm just putting my hands. Anyway, this is trippy. Anyway, I listened to the album. Now, the only reason I try to support Cardi B is because she's from New York, and I'm from New York. You know what I mean? And I try to support every New York artist, even when Tekashi Snitch 9 came out before we knew he was a snitch. I didn't really like his music, but he was from around the way. You know what I mean? So I didn't buy his album, but, I didn't talk bad about him. He's from New York. And not everybody from New York is dope. But, and, he was just sounding, just yelling. He reminded me of Onyx, but Onyx could rhyme. You know what I mean? Let me not disrespect Onyx like that. Just the yelling part. But, Cardi B, and I don't want to, I'm not going to, talk bad on her project. It just sounds like she's reading off a script. I grew up on MCs like MC Lyte, Queen Latifah, Antoinette. Anybody out there remember Antoinette? Now, I'm going back, all right? So I'm only talking to people around my era, but Antoinette was like the female Rakim. And I'm not exaggerating that. I had her first album, and she was dope, man. She was bringing some heat to MC Lyte back then. She was bringing some heat to MC Lyte, but she could, woof, you got to listen to it. Go and search up Antoinette. I forgot the name of the first album, but she was dope, man. And I grew up on, female artists that were bringing it. You know what I mean? Even the Brat. The Brat first album, and I don't know if she wrote the whole thing. I think she did. But to me, I always say that's some of Jermaine Dupri's best production on that album. Definitely. Functified, I'm talking about. That first album. Dope. I'm not even going to front. Criss Cross, when they came out with their second album, The Bomb, they had some dope stuff on there. You know what I mean? But female artists, I just grew up on them that, they were lyricists. They were MCs. You know what I'm saying? And in this era, it doesn't seem like the last lyricist I would say, Little Kim, Nicki Minaj, even her first album was dope. But then it seems like she just got big and started going into this hip hop pop era where, you know, I wasn't really feeling that. But her first album was dope. You know, I like the first album, and she's from New York, so I'm trying to support her. She's from New York, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like, you know, after a while, you know, the music wasn't the same, you know, and a lot of people say because of, I forgot it, that dude that she was dating, Safari or whatever, wasn't there. And he did bring something to the table because her music did change when, you know, and, you know, I guess fame and, you know, money does that. I don't know. But this is what I grew up on, you know what I mean? Females that wrote their own lyrics, females that came with the heat. I mean, a lot of people said Biggie wrote for Little Kim, but according to that that Big didn't write for her. She was just dope. You know what I mean? And Little Kim, man, it's like, you know, anybody remember the album cover, the first album cover for Little Kim hardcore album, the first album? I got that poster at home. Now, wifey, she snatched it down, but I had that poster, man, and y'all know what I'm talking about. So when I see her now, I have a clip I saw her on YouTube, and she was doing that. She was doing this weird move. It didn't even look right anymore. I'm like, what the? But her face, I'm like, yo, you didn't need to do that, sister. You were beautiful, and I just don't get who goes into these girls' head and say, yo, you're ugly. You know, I don't get it. But anyway, this Cardi B thing, it just sounds like she has a pretty face, she has a good personality, and they just wrote these lyrics for her, and she's just quoting, and it's like she's just reading off this script, and it's like I just couldn't get into it, man. I just can't get into it. So, you know, Cardi B, I'm not even gonna rate it because I haven't given it a fair listen because I just can't get into it. You know, I don't consider her an MC. You know what I mean? This is just my personal opinion, and I'm not, you know, my video is not gonna affect her sales. Okay, we already know that. You know what I'm saying? She's probably gonna go platinum out the door. But, you know, I'm talking about music-wise, you know what I mean, lyrically-wise, comparing all the other female artists that came out, even Salt and Pepper, you know, that was, come on, man, that was like one of the first hip-hop MC, female MCs out there, you know, but definitely, you know, I'm not feeling it, you know, I don't think she writes her rhymes, but, you know, there's a lot of artists that it doesn't make them, I don't know. I just come from that school, man, where you're not a real MC if you don't write your rhymes. That's just me, you know. That's the school I come from, and I understand like things change and people in this era is a little bit different. But back, you know, from back then, you had to write your own rhymes, and these females like MC Light, you know, Queen Latifah, you know, even Bahamadia, you know what I'm saying? Chicks like that don't even get mentioned. You know what I'm saying? They was killing it. I remember Bahamadia's first album. It was crazy. You know, I think, you know, the only thing I thought about that album, I wish Premier did more production on that album, but it is what it is. But Cardi B, nah, not feeling it. But that's just me. You know what I mean? But what you guys think? Do you even think Cardi B is an MC or entertainer? That's what I look at her more like. But, you know, like I said, do your thing. Everybody, you know, eat. Thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far, I appreciate y'all. Like, subscribe to videos. I'm out of here, man. Peace.